growing a YouTube channel and you have a lot on your plate, and there's all sorts of stuff that can get thrown our way that can make it feel a little bit more challenging. Today's guest is someone who I think is an absolute bloody legend. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm playing in the background. That's weird. Let me get rid of that. Oh, that was me. Okay. Yes. So today's guest is I'm going to say absolute legend. We have joining us Amie from Motif Music Studios. Oh, look at this. It's all happening on my screens. I've got my notifications up. Here is Amie from Motif Music Studios, who helps piano teachers run thriving studios with creative lesson ideas, sustainable business strategies, and inspiring piano repertoire. And Amie does all of this while juggling being an entrepreneur and being a parent who I have just found out she has 3 kids who are under the age of 11, 7 to 11. That's unbelievable. Who are also being homeschooled. So I'm like, oh my gosh, as a fairly new mum, I am incredibly inspired by this amazing content creator who has pumped out like over 800 videos. I'm just, so excited to hear her secrets of how on earth she's juggling everything and getting everything done. With that said, welcome to today's guest, Amie, the creator of Motif Music Studios. Thank you for joining us today, Amie.
Oh, it's an absolute delight, Claire, to be here. And I can't wait to inspire your audience, and also just a really authentic time of you don't always get it all done. And so I hope we can dive into that authenticity as well.
Yes, I love it. I love it so much. We're going to be hearing some very, very real stories of how things go, when things go well, when things don't go well. I'm so excited to I can see there's some bloody legends in the chat. Let me pull these comments up and say hello to some people. Where are they? I'm navigating a new live streaming platform at the moment, and I'm trying to find my chat. Let's see. While I'm looking for the chat, would you mind sharing with people, for people who don't know you yet, haven't come across your channel, could you please share what your YouTube channel is about?
Absolutely. Well, my YouTube channel is about inspiring music teachers in creative teaching practices and trying to encourage them if they're also running their own studios or perhaps they're working with other music teachers. And then the third part is really introducing students and teachers really to inspiring piano repertoire. And I've really focused on music by contemporary composers, which has been a whole fun plot twist.
That's amazing. We have Elle in the chat. We have the tech troublemaker. People saying hello. And this is very nice. Amie is my favorite music teacher, and I don't even take piano lessons. I love that so much. What an absolute legend you are, tech troublemaker. Awesome to have you here. So you have a really, really interesting YouTube journey. And I would love to, if you could share with the chat, and could someone please let me know, like I just said, I'm pretty new to this platform. Let me know how our audio levels are, and if you think I need to bump either of us up or down, that would be super helpful. So tell us about how you got started on YouTube.
Well, I like to call YouTube my biggest plot twist of my 40s because I really wasn't expecting to be a YouTuber. So I'm an accidental YouTuber, if you will. And it basically started because I had students, I was teaching them online, and I realized I wanted to send them like a clip of a lesson plan or a song that I thought they'd enjoy. And I was trying to upload and it wasn't working. And I thought, I guess I need to like revisit that old YouTube channel that we have. It had 18 subscribers and just a few videos from students. So that's really how I got started, was an accidental YouTuber who was already a music teacher, but in new eras of life.
That's amazing. It reminds me actually heaps of, do you know Dr. Andrea Furlan?
Not yet.
Yeah, she's has an amazing YouTube channel. I interviewed her, it was a while ago now, but she's got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and she's a pain doctor. Like she
Oh,
works with people who have chronic pain, and she also was like, I need to send stuff to my. That's kind
oh,
of similar to how she got started.
yeah.
So how amazing! That's so cool. Um, yeah, it's super interesting, and one of the things that I found really incredible watching your stuff is finding out just um, how you built your YouTube studio, which is
Oh,
very small and wonderful. Can you please tell us about this studio? Because I think this is, having people worry about, I need the right setup, I need the right this that, like everything's got to be perfect for my scenes and everything, and you are literally doing it in a closet.
yes. You know what? It's become my favorite thing, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to like be brought out of this closet into real life here
Why would
because
you?
I know. Yeah, one day I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to be teaching online after COVID, and I thought, well, we have a two-bedroom home and there's five of us, so there wasn't really any space for like a home office. And I looked at our closet one time in our bedroom, and we do have two big closets like this, but they're only 24 square feet each. And I said to my husband, Jeff, I said, do you think a keyboard could fit in there? And we both looked at each other. He's like, ah. And I'm like, I don't know. And I just started tearing apart the closet and like, let's do this. And so then he was super like into it too, and we figured out it would work. So this is my YouTuber closet and my online piano teaching closet, and it's brought a lot of joy to be able to do things in a small space, and like you said, using kind of simple things. I didn't invest a ton in getting this set up. I just started.
I love it so much. I love it so much. And that's like, your you spoke about in a video. I've actually linked your video of your studio tour because it's such an amazing, it's such a great video. And I think just will be so inspiring to people. Your pivot from like being a piano teacher, that's such a thing that most people would imagine you have to do that in person. And your COVID pivot is just, it's an incredible story. Would you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. During COVID, we had a team of 12 teachers, and we worked out of a 900 square foot space and close to 300 clients for weekly lessons in individualized programs. And so when all that happened, it was just trying to like still build community, but in different ways. And so we did go all online. And online piano teaching is something that is really personal to each teacher. Some will love it and find so much value in it. Some students absolutely love it, but it's not for everyone. So some of our teachers are now in person, but I've stayed online because it really suits me. It suits our
Yeah.
family. It suits this little space that I have. So that's really how we started online. And that was kind of like the birth of my YouTube channel in that era as well.
Yeah. How, I just think it's so cool.
It's been so fun.
Yeah. And so my the biggest question of the day is you have three children,
Yeah.
you're homeschooling them. How do you actually how do you have time for this?
Oh, I love this question because this is when it gets really raw and honest. And I like to make sure people know that sometimes the question is, how do you do it all? And it really isn't that you do it all because there's always something that gives. So I would say the things that go well is we have a lot of love in our home. We're really invested in the lives of our kids. We try to follow their interests and their enthusiasms. I'd say three of three are likely neurodivergent. It's a big spectrum there. And so I'd say that that part is dialed in. The homeschooling, they're very interest led. So they're a bit feral learners who are like cooking steaks for schoolwork and making waffles and doing some farm chores, and learning alongside each other in different ways. And then, as far as for me, do you do it all? Not really. There's always little gaps in it, but man, have I had fun, and my house is chronically the thing that probably takes the biggest hit.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely not tidy. So any little moments I had to do YouTube, I'd be like, "Oh man, I really have this idea. I really want to fit it in." So sometimes I fit it in right after we settle the first two of the kids for bed, and then my husband usually settles the oldest one, and that's about 45 minutes. So I'd literally get them settled. I'd be like, I don't care how I appear on camera. So I'll just be like my frizzy hair and just like pull it back and then just press go as soon as that happens. And then usually record the video in that 45-minute window. And
Mm.
that's how I started, just using those little gaps of time.
Yeah. It's amazing. I'm finding it so incredible how much time I thought I didn't have before having a kid.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh wow, you literally get like at the moment she's my daughter has just turned 1 and at the moment she naps.
Yeah.
And that is just such a luxury. But it makes you just so focused and productive in the time that you do have to be able to get stuff done. Yeah, Elle says, wow, working those available minutes. Yeah, it's like, it's incredible. It's incredible. So you get like maybe 45 minutes a day to really focus on filming stuff. Like, I mean, I'm assuming you don't do it every single day, but, or do
Well,
you?
yeah, no, or do I? I definitely have a very hyperactive mind, and it's been lifelong that I've just had such an enthusiasm for music education. So, one thing that's a benefit is my brain is always thinking about these things, always. So, I think when I press go on like being able to create content, the ideas are already there. I also found out I've taught music for 28 years as of this year. I started when I was
Wow.
17, so you can do the math. And I found like archives of lesson plans and stuff too that I started like drawing from and being like, oh yeah, I've already created that and it's already in my repertoire. How could I spin that into a video, and how could I help use that to encourage other people? So I'd say that might be easier than some journeys if it's like right from the raw concept of a channel, whereas I did have like a lifelong of being immersed, and I still don't always get it right. I think that's something that we can also dive into.
Yeah. It's great to not get it right.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest life lesson is, oh wow, there's just, and I'm sure I'd heard that before. You learn so much more when you don't get it right from when you do
Yeah.
get it right. Like, I mean, the amount that I learned at the very start of this live stream of going, oh my gosh, I didn't have the comments thing up and ready to go. I had my notifications thing hanging down. I had the wrong screen. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like we learn so much when stuff is a little bit more, when it doesn't go right. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
lucky because it so often doesn't go right.
That's so true. Yeah, it really is. So, yeah, that's been a big part of my journey. It's been wildly fun. And I would say I've gifted it to myself as a real guilt free space. So, there's probably so many ways I could have tackled YouTube more analytically if I really knew what I was doing and I had a clear vision. But I also didn't want it to be another should on my list. And so I think that's why I've been so prolific too, is it's not always the next video that I in quote should have done, but it's the video that was top of mind or repertoire I was doing for a student. Or so I've just kind of shared that whole
Mm.
journey with reckless enthusiasm, I'd say.
I love it. I love it so much. And there's so much focus, I think, in the content creation world on like making money and like having viral hits and like, but I think there's so much to be said for just like the creative fulfillment it
Yeah.
can bring. And like, yeah, it's just, you got to love
Yeah.
it. You got to love it. And that's a massive, massive, massive perk
Yeah.
is, yeah, getting to put
Yeah.
stuff out there. And I'm a performer myself. I studied as an actor and I've done a lot of acting. And there's like this thing of, with acting, you got to be, I don't know, there's a couple of people at the top that get to say, cool, you're an actor. You get to do
Yeah.
stuff. And there's this thing where it's like, I just get to do anything I want. How cool.
Yeah, you make such a great point because I think it's that way as a musician too. And then for those listening in who are other YouTubers, I think the encouragement is in that like you aren't always in quote the best in the world or even the small percentage of like the top 85, 90%. So the act of creating, whether you're creating as an actor, whether you're creating as a musician or whether you're creating as a YouTuber, it really is a gift to just get to have space to build your character because that you'll be guaranteed to do for sure as a YouTuber.
Yeah,
But all those things are,
absolutely. Tech
yeah.
Troublemaker says, I get stir crazy if I don't go live at least once a week on YouTube. Being a creator rocks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. And when I had a big break having
Mhm.
Emily, which was so amazing and the right thing to do. But I like doing these lives just the past couple of weeks. I'm like, oh man, it's so much fun. It's just so much fun connecting with other YouTubers, learning from other YouTubers. There's always so much that I take away from these chats. It's amazing. And for the people who are in the chat, we would love to know if you have any specific questions for Amie, drop them in the chat. And we will have a little bit of time at the end where we'll answer some questions. So yeah, do that. That'd be awesome. Um, what I'm going to skip some of these questions because I feel like we've already kind of spoken about some of this stuff, which is awesome. What is one investment you've made into your channel that was absolutely worth it? And people in the chat, answer this question as well. I'd love to know what yours all are too.
Yeah, that's a really great question because my investments have been on the lower side, except I did have like things like my keyboard, which isn't really for the channel specifically I was teaching. I think always, and this is something I'm going to lean into a bit more, but as a musician and as a creator, I'd say anything that ergonomically helps you, like you talked about your new mic,
Mm.
and I would say the headset I'm wearing right now, it prevented me from, because I was teaching too, I was leaning a little bit like this quite often. And then I realized I was also playing the piano, so my position was changing, but I was
Mm.
trying to also talk. So I'd say that this has been one of my best investments for me because I am a very active person when I'm on camera. And so then it helps prevent me from like wrenching my neck in. And because I'm already teaching so many hours in this space, it just anything that's ergonomically sound. And I know the creator classroom, she might pop in at some point on the replay too. And her new desk setup, right? Stuff that helps your body.
Mm.
So my headset would be top notch. I also have a stand for my computer that you can't see, but it pivots. It has a swivel on it, and that was great too because then I was bringing it closer and able to adjust it. And same with a USB keyboard for me. I
Gotta have it.
yeah, exactly, because it was causing that unnatural reach for
Yeah.
me. And I thought I can't afford like a frozen shoulder and tension injuries when I've been so careful on my instrument to get it from being a YouTuber isn't clever. So
Yeah.
those would be my
Yeah.
top. Things that build
Yeah.
comfort is probably bigger than my tech. And then this year, my husband bought me this screen as a present that was a fun surprise because I was printing so much sheet music. I think we went through like 3,000 prints or something.
Oh, wow.
And so this, I have my sheet music on here and I don't have to print everything. I can have it displayed.
Oh, that's fantastic. In that video that I've shared in the description, you were talking about how much sheet music you have. That's so funny. How cool. So this is a new toy, the screen.
Yeah, the screen is new. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's such good advice, like to focus on things that, like, if you're going to be sitting at a desk for ages, like things that mean you don't have to go and see a physio weekly because that gets
100%.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So okay, so you're just over 2,000 subs, right? Which is amazing. What advice would you give to someone who is, say, stuck underneath 1,000 subs?
Underneath this 1,000. I think the things that I maybe could have done earlier is what everyone does say is to know your audience and to keep kind of leaning into what serves your audience. And that can be a little wild sometimes. Like with my audience, I've got a variety of content and it's not just all one kind of video that's rising to the top, but I think knowing your niche and then I think not spinning your wheels, like we all want to just create and create. And I did a lot of volume, and that was just my way of learning. But I
Mm.
think creating those videos that are really supporting your end goal vision is okay. You don't just have to create to your utmost levels of fatigue, right? For me, it wasn't fatigue. It was like I was having so much fun, like a kid at a playground. It was my hobby. So I wouldn't aim to create 800 videos like I have.
Yeah. Yeah, because 800 is I saw that. I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. But like you said, if you're able to just sit there and it's stuff you already know in your, like, a lot of, for people that aren't familiar with Amie's channel, there's a lot of like, lot of you playing the piano.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, but it's like, yeah, that's not necessarily something that everyone can pump out, like daily
No.
videos or 3 videos a week or whatever. I saw that you have published something like 24 videos in the past month, which is amazing.
Yeah. And
But
this month didn't even feel hard.
how is your experience with YouTube Shorts? I saw you do dabble in shorts. How's that been for your channel?
That's a great question. I think overall, I probably wouldn't use it as a big strategy, at least for my channel. I've had a lot lower receptiveness to them, and I think because I haven't necessarily wanted to play the game as much. In some ways, I know I'm like, oh, Amy, like it needs to be quicker cuts, it needs to be storytelling, it needs to be, but I get stubborn and just like, oh, I don't have the stamina for that. So when I do put shorts up, I just have it related to something I'm doing. And I had a few lately. I did a bit of Forrest Frank stuff, and his stuff is really big. And
Mm.
so then it is a bit more trending. So a few this week are up over, like one's at 1,000 views, one at 2 and 3, and one at 4,000. And that's big for me. Usually it's like a few hundred kind of thing. So I think it
Mm.
has been just fun to have some content that's shorts. I do
Yeah.
get subscribers from shorts sometimes, but you have to be really careful. If it's one that goes bigger and it's not really in your niche, then it doesn't really serve you well,
Mm. Oh,
at
it's
least for
such an
me.
interesting thing, the whole YouTube Shorts world. And yeah, like if you're getting subscribers that are people that want to watch YouTube Shorts, they're not necessarily going to sit down for half an hour and watch an interview or, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it can be really, really, it seems like from what I've heard a lot of people say, it can actually be quite detrimental. But
Yeah.
I feel like you're connecting a lot of them into your long form videos. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the whole shorts thing pans out in the future. I know Tech Troublemaker does a lot of YouTube shorts. I wonder what your experience has been of yeah, of that? Does it
Yeah.
translate into views on longer form video, or does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
I think honestly, the live streams sometimes will be my best. Like I've not done as many lately, but those were great subscribers that were really, really good for my style of content.
Yes. So, who is someone someone that inspires you on your YouTube channel?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I draw inspiration from so many different pools. So there's the very authentic grassroots creators. And I would add you, Claire, in that list of just like doing things in authentic ways and showing up and being like, hey, I'm going to share my journey to get 1,000 subscribers. And then, hey, wow, we're at 1,000. What are we going to do next? And I think I love that style of content myself. And same with Roy's channel with Tech Troublemaker. I'm inspired by that because he's shown up in his vehicle, like just pondering life and pondering YouTube, and it's very authentic. I think there's some big YouTubers in my niche that I'm like, oh, like Nari Sal is like incredible educator, incredible pianist, has a very, very big channel. And I love her content. It's very solid. And there's others like that. And then a random one is I started getting to know composers, contemporary living composers is a big part of my channel. And one of them started a YouTube channel in her 80s, and it's growing, and she's still putting piano content out there and composing things. And I'm like,
Wow.
that just gives me hope to be like, you know what? Keep creating, keep learning things. Like, how cool is it? I'm like almost half that age and thinking, oh my goodness, I get to do this and I don't have to let it be like, oh, I can't do it because I'm like expired or something.
Yeah. Isn't that such an amazing thing about content
Yeah.
creation? Like there's no rules, there's no every channel has to be a certain way. Like there is, I really really believe there's an audience for absolutely everyone. It's just
Yeah.
like it seems like the difference between content creators who and channels that like make it or don't is
Yeah.
just the simple fact of keeping on going and connecting with
Yeah, it
community and doing what you love. And yeah.
Yeah, I think there is that aspect, right, of just being able to do it. I do follow Ed Lawrence has some good stuff lately. He used to do Film Booth, that's another, and Think
Yeah.
Media I've followed over the years too. But I liked what you mentioned. I don't know where I saw you say it, but it's also that important aspect of not over consuming, and I'm definitely guilty of that in the early stages of like being on every live stream and listening, and then it's that balance of okay, now you've got to do it, and you also just want to do things your own way, and we're also vulnerable to just trying to do it like someone who's succeeding because you're like, okay, I really want this to work. But then
Yeah.
it's really cool and refreshing to see some creators just doing them,
Yeah.
being
And
authentic.
comparison is just such a yeah, I think Sean Cannell says I'm sure he's probably not the first person that said it, but it's the thief of joy, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I was discouraged from doing these live streams by someone that I had a lot of respect for, a content creator who I had, yeah, just so much respect for.
Yeah.
I paid for a coaching session with him,
Yeah.
and he was like, why are you doing these live streams? Like it's
Yeah.
not translating into anything. And I was like, oh, okay, which is probably a big part of why there was a big break from these
Yeah.
kind of live streams for
Yeah.
me. And I'm like, man, that really sucks because I have so much fun. Like
Yeah.
it might not be like getting and even StreamYard in its prime doesn't get a ton of views on live stream replays.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not the point. The point is the connection, right? The
Yeah.
point is, and I'm like, man, if I get to do a weekly check-in with everyone, like, Tech Troublemaker says, it's like, it does feel, it's just so much nicer to
Yeah.
connect. What was my point of saying that? I don't know. Oh, comparison and like worrying
Yeah.
about what other people are doing. It can just be
Yeah.
so detrimental. So good to just focus on, you know, our actual audience.
Yeah. And you know what? Creativity, in essence, like it begets more creativity. So sometimes, like what you're saying, like if going live brings you joy, and this is something that an analyst can't know. So that's no discredit to someone who's advising you, because we don't always know what's giving you joy. But if that gives you joy and that gets your mind working and you're at home with your sweet little one, but you're feeling a bit isolated, things like that, then this might be the thing that all of a sudden brings you life and gives you the strength and the clarity to create more things.
Yeah, absolutely. And Elle makes an amazing point. We should also consider enjoying YouTube. Consider enjoying YouTube if we enjoy it. We don't always need outside results. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like when I approached this guy for some coaching, it wasn't that he was giving me bad advice. I think I was hearing it in a really negative way. And that said
Yeah.
more about like where I was at that point in life than anything. Like he's amazing and knows what he's talking about. And he's, yeah, if what you're wanting is heaps of views, then yeah, like just doing a live stream every week is not the solution. But if you're wanting to connect with community, which is totally my jam, it always has been.
Yeah.
That's getting my start in the church, I think. You know,
Right. Yeah.
it's like it's all about community and connection with other people. Otherwise, what's the point of anything?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cool way to connect. And so I think that's something that others can be encouraged about too, is
Mm.
like creativity for the sake of creativity. And I get it. We all are trying to make money as well, doing life and trying to live. So there is like other aspects that I've really thought into, but I think there's room for both.
Yeah. Absolutely. So do your videos, and I know initially it was for your like to send to clients, and is this still a big part of your business?
It's been interesting. I'd say it's more of a side branch. Probably the most profitable aspect is that it does generate leads for online teaching, which is
Yeah.
amazing. And I don't actually put call to actions for my teaching because I'm usually have the capacity, like I'm up to capacity. I don't really need any more students, although I love like interviewing ones that might work, and so I do appreciate it. But I haven't just opened wide the floodgates. So that's
Mm.
the one on one aspect. It gives a lot of credibility, I'd say, to what I do as a teacher because people can see you in the context of online. So it might seem more approachable to think,
Mm.
oh, well, I learned something when she was on YouTube. So probably if I was having a lesson, I could learn something too.
Yeah.
Um, so that's probably the biggest, like, in quote, money making aspect for YouTube right now. Um, the
Which is huge.
surprising it is,
That's
yeah. I
amazing.
mean,
Yeah.
I've always had the students I've needed just because of reputation in our own community, but I think for staying online, if I wanted to stay online, then YouTube is fabulous, and I think other people could go that same route of like, okay, if you're an artist or you're, consultant of some kind, then it really speaks to authenticity of what you're offering. So that's the biggest, like, in quote, money I'm making on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Not
That's
ad
amazing.
not ad revenue yet.
Yeah, I'm also not making ad revenue yet, but it's
Yeah.
like it is so incredible how I love hearing the stories of like people that had like brick and mortar businesses or like coaching businesses. I know you said you would rent your
Mm.
friends' lounge rooms and living rooms and
Yeah.
stuff, and you know that how it can turn into that. It can be like really support. I had a dog walking business for years, and if I had
Oh, neat.
known about how to use YouTube, then I would have been using it for
Yeah.
like building my business. So it's, I think, such a incredible tool for people to consider for their like not I don't like saying real world businesses, but you know,
Yeah.
what's the opposite of cyberland, internet world. I guess, yeah, brick and mortar is, I guess,
Yeah.
the. But I didn't have any bricks or mortar when I was walking dogs. But you know, it's such a great tool for businesses. Yeah.
Yeah. I really think it is. Like it gives credibility. I also do like the evergreen kind of concept of YouTube. And so for me, that makes it a more valuable like space to post. So even though I keep my other social media up, that's not really what I use to generate. If I was using just one, I would definitely choose YouTube because I feel
Mm,
like it's the content is there and it gives you more space to show what you can do, more places to help people, and more of a reference guide, right? Like it's not just disappearing in 12 hours
mm,
somewhere. And so a lot of my videos too are I don't have any hugely standout videos, but the ones that are sneaking up there to the 10,000 views mark are all ones that got like 100 views in like a whole first month or two. So, but they're over time, and I'm noticing, oh, more are sneaking up to like over 1,000, over two. Oh, we've got some
yeah.
that are, and I never thought that would happen with the ones too that it happened with. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's surprising.
And I think that
Yeah,
this is the just incredible thing about YouTube as well. It's like,
yeah,
and you have this library that's so extensive. And it's interviewing someone in a couple of weeks who has a YouTube video that just went viral. And she all
wow,
of a sudden, her channel was monetized in this one video, and she made tens of thousands of dollars off of this one video, which is like such an unbelievably uncommon story. And I think that's something that
yeah,
we're going to focus on because it's like it's
yeah,
so incredible and motivating and inspiring. But it's like you don't get to that one video, and for her it happened very quickly. But
yeah,
you know, you hear about so many content creators who
yeah,
work away at it, and then there's one that just takes off and lifts all the other ones up with it, and that's
yeah,
that's totally possible.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's not possible if we don't keep doing it. And I know that like making money isn't necessarily everyone's main motivation, but like it'd be nice to get an extra $15,000 for one video,
Oh,
wouldn't it?
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
wouldn't
I'm with
say
you
no
on that.
to it.
Yeah, I definitely love to see those little streams built up through YouTube, and that's something I'm still working on. I chuckled. My son said, "Mom, could you create a an arrangement of this Minecraft piece?" And so I did, and I popped it up, and that actually I just got a little check for 50 US the other day for the arrangements that were sold, and that to me from the channel is big. I was like,
That's
"Oh, that was
amazing.
surprising." Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. So you sell your arrangements through your channel or
Yeah,
like
and
on an ex?
ironically, I don't usually arrange. I've always worked alongside students to arrange, and on my channel, I've been really promoting other arrangers and composers, which has been so life-giving and community building. Um, but I do realize that I have the skill to do it when I just put my mind to it, and that one was super fun. I did it over my coffee in the morning, and
Yeah.
now it's up there, and I recorded it, and I was like, "Oh, it's a super quirky, fun one." But it was hitting on a trend. So it was fun to be like, oh, YouTube's opening new possibilities because now there is an audience there. Before,
Mm.
if I published something, no one really would have known about it, so it wouldn't really matter. And now
Yeah.
there is people listening in. So
Yeah, and like leaning into those like Minecraft is such a massive thing for these. Have you
yeah,
I don't even know what it is. Like
yeah.
except that it's everyone's obsessed with it. Does it have anything to do with Robux? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a different game, but Minecraft is pretty cool because it's kind of like virtual Lego is what I usually tell people at its
Yes,
like
and
most
you obviously
basic.
like Lego.
Yes, and I obviously like Lego, and I'm not a super Minecraft player, but my boys really are, and I do like it's collaborative, it's creative, it's one of my favorites out there as far as a video game. So, and the
Oh, that's
music's
so
very
cool.
calming. And when you have
Yeah.
three boys, you need calming music. That's something you
Yeah.
need.
How amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So you're the Minecraft arrangement that you are selling, is that like, do you create a video and then there's like a link in the video to that people can click on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's something that perhaps in the future, again, when you're a busy parent, and I know that's kind of a topic here on this video, or anyone juggling multiple things, like juggling a, brick and mortar career and being a creator, I think we start to budget out our time. So one of my thoughts is, well, maybe I'll budget out a little bit of time to arrange a piece once a month or something. And then that's another way that the channel can promote that kind of little bit of, not really passive, because I've put in so much work at this point that, it could pay me for a long time without it being passive income, but surprising income, it might work.
Yeah. But when it, I think that shift when it changes from, because I guess like, $50 from a Minecraft video, if you think about that in the context of the 800 videos you've made, is like not very much of an hourly rate, but it is still, it's like proof of concept, and that there is this possibility. There's so many possibilities, and the financial freedom that it can create for so many people is just, I get very excited by that. I like sticking it to the man, and you know, which you as an entrepreneur obviously also like not working for other people.
Yeah, it's not always the easy path, but I must say entrepreneurship is something that I really do love. It's not the easy path. I spend so much time thinking about what I do, and yet I think my brain would be like that whether I worked for someone else or whether I worked for myself. And I think also in parenting, and that's the stage you're in, I love that right now my schedule's spread out through the day. I come in, I do something fun like this with you, and then I'm back out with the kids, and my kids were they still are happy, even though they give me some side eye and some attitude here and there, but they actually still do love that I'm close by. And so I love that aspect of, if YouTube also grows for me, I feel like there's great potential for having, it be a small part of my day that's consistent, but that actually does start to be beneficial, no matter if it's clients that it's promoting or a course or things like that. But it gives us that chance to be closer to family, because that's why I had kids. I wanted to be with them, right?
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's such a delight getting to, fill up the creative cup in here in my, I was going to say little space, but your space is so much littler.
Yeah.
It's a huge room that I'm in. But being able to come in here, fill up my creative cup, and then go, I am finding that now that I'm back to creating, I'm just so excited when that little baby starts crying, like when she wakes up from her nap, and I'm like, I get to go hang out with Emily now. And it's like having that balance, I think, is really, really good. I said before we went live, I could chat with you. I feel like I could chat with you for hours and hours, but we do both need to go and be with our families now. But this has been such an amazing conversation. I have loved it. I would love to encourage everyone who's watching to have a look at the video that I've linked of Amie's in the description. It's about her, a bit more about her story, which has been a really intense but also amazing journey. And also about this desk, and how if you can do it in a closet, then like you can do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for being such a beautiful, wonderful guest, and for sharing so openly about your experience. It's been one of my favorite 44 minutes ever.
Yeah. What a blast for me too. So thanks for having me today, Claire.
Bloody beautiful. Thanks everyone in the audience for being here as well. You're a pack of legends. Bye.